Alright, I believe we are all set. I'm just loading complete. Let's get into this lobby. There we go. Right. Let's keep that off. Do that. Bosh. Alright. Here for tier 2 today in Jeddah. So just waiting for cars to leave the pit lane at the moment, and I believe this will be the first car of Wacky Racer in the Aston Martin. Qualifying's just getting underway now. So you already had a minute past, and we're only seeing the first cars out on track. So while we're waiting for our laps to be completed, we'll just stick on board with Wacky Racer. We'll get to it soon. Hope my audio is fine. If there's any issues with my audio, do put it into the chat, just let me know. And Moody's already gotten a 5-place grid penalty for, I think that was a collision with Batman. So that's not an ideal start. So it'll be first of all Wacky Racer, followed by the Ferrari of Tesco Mildil. So for now we'll go on board with the Aston Martin as he's coming around turn 27 to start his flying lap. As he's going to start burning just before the line as he comes into turn 1. Misses the apex slightly, runs a bit deep. Obviously this is a banker run, so we'll still have a lot more time to improve later on in the session. So I believe that's an Alpine getting out of the way quite nicely for him, as Moody has retired from the session. So Wacky Racer coming through sector 1. Keeps it valid, and it will be a 33.6. The quickest so far, but I do believe Tesco will end up beating that. I believe he did. Going through sector 2 now. There we go. Wacky Racer still keeping it valid. So he's not going to set the times alight with this lap at the moment. So very many mistakes, as you can see, running deep into many corners and the tap of the wall there as well. But finishing off the lap through sector 3, which was this back straight, main straight, whatever you call it, just a straight into turn 27, brakes hard for the hairpin, gets the car turned in and will accelerate down to the line. And Wacky Racer will end up setting a 1 minute 30.743, and that's beaten by just over 3 seconds by Tesco Mildils with a 27.4. We'll go on to his Ferrari teammate of William, or as everyone knows him as Willie. As he'll end up coming to the line, he will set a 28.6 and go P5 at the moment. Time's flying in at the moment, with Stepney Luke going up to P4, Bam up to P3, and WA up to P3 now, because Woody just jumped them all to P2 with a 27.7. This stream is very delayed, so let me just sort this out. There we go. And who's next? Who's next? We'll go on with F1 Hack. Finishing off Sector 2, 1 minute and 6/10 of a second for the first two sectors so far for the Alpine. See, neither Alpine having laps at the moment. Drac just starting one, he's coming through turn 4. But with F1 Hack now coming around turn 27, he'll burn the rest of his ERS towards the line. And he will set a 27.9 and go P4. As King Luke has just started a lap as well. But we'll go to Destroyer Drac, who is coming through Sector 2 now. Only got turn 27 left to navigate, the final proper corner around this circuit. The Drac will brake hard and go down to, I believe, 3rd gear. Yep, 3rd gear for Drac as he exits the hairpin and the run down towards the line as Jar Jar Bing has retired. And Drac does a 28.6 and goes P8, just in front of the Williams driver of Bakey Gaming. Shazam getting all unstable coming through. I believe that's turn 24. And Shazam coming towards the line, it will be a 30.8 and it's only P15 and last of the time set so far. Only Salty Stevens and Bevan yet to set lap times. I believe Bakey is actually on a lap. Yep, he's 1.5 tenths up so far on his time. Now, I don't even think that'll put him above Drac. It'll leave him with a 0.7 currently, but it depends how much time he can find throughout his final corners. And Bakey will come into pit lane. So he will abort that run, probably made a mistake and lost too much time. King Luke has invalidated, currently sat P11 with a 28.9, but will not be improving on this run. I believe it's Stepney Luke now. On his second run, currently sat in P6. Quite smooth through Sector 1. We'll see how much time he's gained, if he's gained any, and he's gained just half a tenth in that first sector. Will not gain him any places, but still got another 2 sectors for him to navigate. But we'll keep on board with the Williams driver as he navigates Sector 2, with DRS going to be open for the second time on this lap. Finish Sector 2, he is almost 3.5 tenths up on his lap. At the moment that will put him up to P5 provisionally, but again there is still another sector for him to navigate. I believe that's Bam just behind them all as well. Yeah, Bam just behind is currently sat P5, So you might see them two swapping places. This is a 28.0 for Stepney Luke. What about Bam? Bam didn't actually improve, I don't think. And that means Stepney Luke is up to P5. Woody coming to the line. Woody lost a little bit of time based off his sector splits. Sorry, it was a 10.5 up. I think he lost time in that final sector. He will stay P2 at the moment. Free range eggs into the pit lane, but we'll go to Bevan. Bevan setting his first lap. Never mind, he has invalidated. He is into the pits. We'll go on board with F1 Hack. F1 Hack pushing through Sector 1 currently. Is a 10.5 up currently. It will overtake WBA for P3 at the moment. See if he can hold on for the rest of the lap. Runs slightly deep. I think I unsettled the car slightly. Might have lost a bit of time there. With ERS going, he's going to get DRS coming into turn 24. We'll see if he's gained any. Nope, he lost about 2 attempts from that mistake. So we'll see if he finishes this lap. At the moment, it looks like he will be stuck in a P4 before the final runs in this session. Coming into turn 27, hits the apex, runs a little bit deep though, doesn't hug it as much as you would like to do. If he's run out of deployment and he is into pit lane. With Drac though, Drac improves by about half a tenth. He does improve a place though. Goes up to P9 ahead of Batman. Batman obviously into the pits. And Willie with no fuel into the pits as well. I believe Shazam is on a lap. 10.5 up apparently so, but we'll see what he could do as he finishes Sector 2. Three and a half attempts up currently, will only gain him the 1 place. That 1 place being on Wacky Racer for P14. Very close to be hitting that inside wall at turn 27, but seems like he's done it quite nicely and will set a 30.1 and goes P13 ahead of Adam as well. Now with the V-carb of Free Range Eggs, starting his flying lap with 4.5 minutes to go, coming into turn 1 and turn 2. Be careful here at turn 4. Make sure you don't hit the inside wall. Does that quite nicely, and going to navigate this twisty section of Sector 1. See how much he's improved, or even if he's down on his time. You never know, but we'll see in just a moment. 4 attempts up in the first sector, 4 free range eggs. That'll gain him about 3, maybe 4 places, depending. Free range egg still pushing here in the V-carb. He's coming through Sector 2. He's going to get DRS open for the second time on this lap. Might be his final flyer. Don't think he'll have time at the end of the session. But he's 5.5 attempts, so he's got to make this one count. Free range eggs into turn 27 now. Slight slap of oversteer as he gets the power down. He's going to get DRS to aid him towards the line and he will set a 28.3. It goes P8 at the moment. Obviously lost a bit of time round that final corner. But P8 is a solid baseliner for this qualifying session. Right, let me... That's fine. What's going on? Right, never mind. Right, let's get back to this. See, I've just missed this entirety of King Luke's lap. However, it was still on his onboard, so that's completely fine. But he has kept this one valid, and coming into the final corner, I believe that's an Alpine ahead, starting his flying lap. And King Luke will come to the line and will set a 28.4 and go P9, just behind Free Range Eggs. Woody comes into the pits, and I believe that's his qualifying session done. Stepney Luke starting a lap. Bam is on a lap currently. Drac is also starting a lap. So I believe that will be Baker Gaming up to P11. 28.6. Who's the Ferrari? Willie has invalidated. He will not be improving, but Tesco Mildils is valid and improving. To the line comes Tesco Mildils. 27.242. 4/10 gap over anyone else. It looks like that's pole secure. But WBA is improving as well. Currently in P3, can he jump Woody for P2, get a shot on that front row? No, he can't. He stays P3. Go Batman though. Batman up to P9. Go to the house of King Luke. King Luke's already set a lap, but I believe it'll be Stepney Luke after that. Bam goes up to P4 with a 27.7. The exact same lap time as WBA. But on board with Stepney Luke. Currently P7. Can he jump a couple places? Goes up to P2. A 27.5 or 4.5 improvement. That's a mega lap. Drac goes to P7. F1 Hack has invalidated. And I believe that is all for this session. Bevan into the pit lane. Bakey, obviously with no fuel, will not improve on his runs. And that's your qualifying order, as you can see on the screen in front of you. Tesco Mildils on pole with a 3.5 tenth gap to Stepney Luke in P2, Woody in P3, WBA in P4, Bam in P5, F1 Hack in P6 with his Alpine teammate of Destroyer Drac in P7. Ferrari of Willie in P8, and it's Free Range Eggs and Batman rounding off the top 10. King Luke, Baker Gaming, Bevan, Shazam, then Adam in P15, Wacky Racer P16. Moody will drop down right to the back with Jar Jar Bing and Salty Stevens rounding off the grid. as we're here back for the race in Jeddah. 5 lights are on. It's lights out and away we go. Tesco Meal Deals, I believe, getting a good start off the line and holding on to P1 ahead of Stepney Luke as it's absolute carnage behind. All drivers battling for position, but everyone seems to have got through nicely so far, as a little bit of a gap opening up already as cars battling, as there's a Haas of Adam the Sweet, who I believe has had a little bit of a spin at the back, who is now currently 1.5 seconds off everyone, but already nearly a 2-second advantage that the top 8 have just after Sector 1, which is mental, as Batman has dropped down about 4 places, down to P16 now. He does have damage on that inside, the left-hand side of his front wing. I believe there's quite a few drivers that have damage as well. I saw a Red Bull of Salty Stevens there with damage as well. So we shall have a look back at that in a bit. But for now, we'll go up to Tesco Meal Deals in P1. Stepney Luke closing in. Is he going to go for a move down the inside? He's going to look to the inside. Into the hairpin. Stepney Luke still up the inside. This will be the run down into turn 1. Who's going to be leading us onto lap 2? It will be Tesco Meal Deals for now. Tesco Meal Deals followed by Stepney Luke, followed by Woody. And WBA just in behind at the moment. Let's get this up there. And the tyres, we'll see what strategy people are going for. So it's hard, it's medium tyres for absolutely everyone except from Jar Jar Bing, who has decided to go for the hard tyres. So the odd one out is the Aston Martin down in P15. As I believe WBA has made a mistake, and that's going to allow Bam to close up and look for the move up the inside. Bam up the inside of the swooped hairpin here in Sector 2. Is Bam going to get this move? It's going to turn towards the outside. WBA backs out and Bam gets up to P4. Salty Stevens and Jar Jar Bing. Jar Jar Bing going at it. Salty Stevens with the wing damage. Jar Jar Bing going off the track. I believe Salty Stevens will hold on to that P14 for now. Wacky Racer getting past Jar Jar Bing in the process due to going off track. Back to the front. Woody closing in quite quick on Stepney Luke. Gap is just under a tenth, or it was just under a tenth coming into the hairpin. Woody thinks better of going for a move. He'll be trying to look for a move into turn 1. However, with Stepney Luke having DRS, it will be incredibly difficult to do so. I believe that's Drac down the inside of the V-Cub. Leaving space on the apex. I believe there was a slight bit of contact between WBA and Destroyer Drac, but Destroyer Drac gets up to P5. Solid points for the Alpines so far in P5 and P7 here on lap 3. King Luke has decided to make a pit stop already. I believe that's fixing a front wing. Front wing fix and onto hard tyres. I believe that is seeing as how long that pit stop took. Baker Gaming kind of in no man's land at the moment. Just over a second to the cars in front. He'll be trying to get back within that DRS range. Got about nearly 3.5 seconds back is Shazam in P12, so Baker Gaming kind of comfortable in P11 currently. Are we going to see a change up on these podium places? Top 3 breaking away by over a second now towards Bam. Bam will not have DRS unless he's managed to get back within. Believe it might have. Bam was able to get back into DRS, but he is over a second back from these 3 drivers. I believe Woody has made a little bit of a mistake. He's dropped back. He lost about 4 tenths there. That allowed Bam to close up ever so slightly. I did miss it, but Willie did manage to get past Bevan for P8 in the Ferrari versus McLaren little battle there for P8. Ferrari will be looking to get up and close into F1 Hack, as you saw in the background as well. Free range eggs getting past Bevan. Bevan dropping down 2 places within a lap. Go behind to Destroyer Drac. Destroyer Drac looking for the move on P4. Drac getting past fairly easily, but does he want to get that move done there? Because it's going to be a very easy repass for Bam. Bam playing a DRS game to allow Drac to go past. See if he can close up into turn 1. Drac has actually kept that place. I don't believe Bam had the battery to fight up against the Alpine. Jar Jar Bing up to P12, getting past Shazam, just missed that one. But moving quite nicely on those hard tyres. Batman has come in to fix his front wing as well. He's down to P18. We'll go back to the front here with the next load of DRS being activated for Stepney Luke and Woody. Tesco Mildil still leading, obviously managing that battery quite nicely, I would assume. Stepney Luke sitting behind, but has he closed up enough through turn 27? Can he make a move into turn 1? Doesn't think of any sort of dive up the inside and will stick it out in P2 for another lap. But Bam and Destroyer Drac, Bam up the inside. Drac holding on to that P4 spot currently. As Baker Gaming on the back. Oh, Baker Gaming has managed to get past Free Range Eggs. What happened to Free Range Eggs then? An absolute horrid camera angle. I believe he's got front wing damage and he's riding the curb as well. And he just allows Jar Jar Bing to go through. Baker Gaming up to P9 now though. Past Bevan for P9 as I've already stated. Jesus. Gaps starting to form now. As you can see from the timing board on your left. Drac 2.2 behind the leaders. Quickly go to Bevan though. Bevan I believe is looking for a overtake. We'll keep an eye on the timing boards for the guys out in the lead. But Bevan's going to stick it behind at the moment on Bakey. Bevan's going to go up the inside of the Williams. Going to look to complete this move, and it looks like he might have done so. Bevan back up to P9 now. Past Bakey. This will be the part of the race where you'll probably see the hard tyres of Jar Jar Bing start closing up on the medium tyres. as drivers might be starting to think about pit stops. It might be a bit early if you're thinking about the one stop, but it all depends on their tyre wear. Baker Gaming going up the inside once again. He has to settle for P10 just for that little bit longer. I say that as Bakey's going to make the move coming into turn 24. With the DRS, he is able to get it done. As Stepney Luke round the outside of Tesco Mildils this time. And is he going to hold on? Tesco's does have the DRS. Woody also has the DRS. Is Woody going to close up enough? But no. Tesco takes back that race lead. As Bam, I believe that was a lock of the rear tyres. I didn't see any contact. But that is a spin for the Mercedes driver, and he's down into P7. Trying to make an overtake on Drag. I don't know whether or not there was contact there or not, but I believe that was just a simple thing of locking the rear tyres entering turn 1. Salty Stevens and Adam side by side. Salty Stevens taking P14. See Salty Stevens still running with that front wing damage. He's missing that entirety of the right side end plate. He's been carrying that since lap 1 and is now obviously we're on to lap 8. So not only is it going to affect his tyres, it's going to affect his performance as he runs off the track there. That's going to be a track limits warning for the Red Bull. Back to the front now. Tesco Mildils, Stepney Luke, Woody, and now Drac. Drac's managed to close up quite a lot here. He's now within this leading pack, obviously out of DRS at the moment. But looking to gain it back, and I think he's just gained it back throughout the final corner. He might be slightly out of it. No, he's in it. He's got the DRS. He's back within DRS. So just drag along WBA, I believe. The WBA will be into this fight, and possibly a 5-car battle if Drac could hold on. Bevan, Baker Gaming and Jojo Bing all fighting. Bevan up the inside of Jojo Bing. See, Jojo Bing on the hard tyres will probably be a lot better performance-wise than those medium tyres here on lap 9. Jojo Bing has jumped both of them up to P9, Bevan P10 and Baker in P11. Drac struggling to stay with these top 3, I say that, but now he's just under 8 tenths. Could be running slightly higher wings than the other guys. Seems to be losing out on the straights but gaining it back through the higher downforce parts of the track. As Bam picks up a 3-second time penalty. Second driver now with a penalty. I believe that's Salty Stevens with a 3-second as well. Baker Gaming, is he closing up enough on Bevan? Bevan might still have DRS here though. It'll make it 10 times harder for Baker to get the move done. Gap is about 3.5 tenths, 4 tenths now, coming up to 5 tenths. So looks like Bevan will be burning more battery than what he is. But Woody and Drac calling it early on the end of lap 9 here, looking for the undercut on the 2 drivers in front. So we'll see how that pans out and where they come out in this race. Tesco Mildils, Stepney Luke, WBA, William and Bam is your top 5 now. Jojo Bing and Bevan fighting. Bevan looking to take that P6 provision lead, but Jojo Bing holds on those hard compounder tyres. Those mediums are probably screaming out for help now. as F1 Hack picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. That's not going to help his proceedings in this race. But we'll go on board with Tesco Mildeals and Stepney Luke. Are they going to jump it into the pit lane? Tesco's sliding that rear end coming round turn 27. And they're both into pit lane now. Stepney Luke just behind. We'll see where Woody comes out, but Woody's being held up by Stepney Luke's teammates of Baker Gaming. Woody's going to go round the outside though. Baker Gaming, the second Williams driver, coming into the pit lane as well. Is Woody going to jump these two drivers? Woody with the undercut. He's got Drac going up the inside, and Stepney Luke and Tesco Mildeals both out in front, and Drac is now up to provisional P3. Well, P3, I believe, after pit stops, after everyone's made their stops. But Drac obviously starting in P7's made up, would have been made up 4 places right now. Shazam picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. It's getting to the part of the race where people are riding their luck with the track limits and paying the price. Tesco Mildeals pass Jar Jar Bing. Stepney Luke as well past Jar Jar Bing. See, with the fresh tyres, it's easy pickings for these drivers to get past the old hard runner of the Aston Martin. Drac up the inside as well. Jar Jar Bing just lost 3 places and possibly going to be a 4th when he has Woody closing up on his rear end. Baker Gaming also picks up a 3-second time penalty. Bam, into pit lane now though. I will leave it on this front 3 quickly on board of Stepney Luke. I need to quickly run toilet, so I'll be back in 1 second. Alright, let's get back to this, shall we? Sorry about that, I just needed to... I needed to do that. I did not fancy... Yeah, I'm not going into details. At the moment, top 4 staying as they are. Jar Jar Bing pitting, Mikey Racer pitting. Jar Jar Bing early onto those medium tyres. Ideally, he would have wanted to go an extra, maybe 2 or 3 laps. But right now, Tesco Mildeals still leading here on lap 13. Stepney Luke in P2, Destroyer Jack in P3, and Woody in P4 with a 6-second gap behind 2 WBA. Adam the Sweet on Batman. Going through Sector 2 now. Adam the Sweet hits the rear of Batman, spins him round, breaks his front wing. That's Batman down to P70, and I think someone else got caught up in that. Yeah, that was Free Range Eggs. Free Range Eggs got caught up there. He's down into P16 and with missing part of his front wing. Batman is round once again. Going from bad to worse for the McLaren. As he's put himself in the wall. I want to keep an eye on this quickly. Free Range X 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pits. Might be rear wing damage, yes. I just want to keep an eye on it just in case. This is into pit lane. I believe that'd be a retirement. Doesn't look like a retirement. Might not be wearing damage. We'll have to see. I just wanted to keep an eye on that in case, but we will get back to this little front pack as Woody has kind of dropped off now. About 1.5 seconds is the gap, and without having DRS, I believe it will only drop back further. As Batman's gone round again. Yeah, definitely has to be rear wing damage. Yeah, it has to be rear wing damage. I experienced the same thing in Zandvoort decks, so... Yeah, honestly, these type of circuits, where it's so high... Where it's the high downforce parts of the circuit is where it's going to suffer the most. Yeah, so... That is... By the way he's spinning, that is definitely rear wing damage, so... It was also at Saudi. Yeah, I had rear wing damage at Zandvoort. As Willie has picked up a 3-second time penalty, I just saw that pop up. Deck, can you go into the UFRL chat and tell Batman to retire? Say it's from me, because obviously, if he crashes, causes a safety car because he has rear wing damage, it's not going to be quite fair for the other drivers. Hopefully he retires now coming into the pits. He should do. Yeah, he does. There we go. Alright, let's get back to this then. Yeah, it's unfortunate for Batman, but it's the right thing to do. Obviously, with having that rear wing damage, which was obviously clear. Let's say he's spun, caused a safety car. It will completely ruin this race for this top 4 and other drivers that have penalties as well. So yeah, rear wing was missed. Yeah, I could see that from on the stream. Obviously, I wasn't sure what was going on at first, and obviously it was clear that it was rear wing damage. But it's just one of those things, unfortunately. I mean, Shazam is on the back of King Luke here. Keep an eye on this one, see if we get an overtake. Instead of it just being 4 cars following in a train. As King Luke actually does come into pit lane, so we shall not worry about that, because Shazam gets the place quite easily. Probably the easiest move that he's going to get of his life. As someone has had a bit of a mistake, I think that's F1 Hack. F1 Hack's had a bit of a spin. He's down to P8 now. And he's literally got a plank of wood as a right side front wing. This is going to hold up Baker Gaming quite a bit on his quest of getting towards BAM. Baker Gaming gets to move quite easily and will obviously pull away due to that wing damage. And we'll see just how much he will understeer. Yep, look at that. Off the track. Bosh. That will let Jar Jar Bing get through quite easily as he's just broken the other half of his wing smack into the outside wall. Stepney Luke managed to close right up to the rear end of Tesco Mildeals. He wasn't able to do anything with it, but however, will help him out through Sector 1. Although the dirty air will end up killing his tyres. F1 Hack, obviously into pit lane, fixing that front wing. Probably dropped down to about P16, more than likely, maybe P17. But what I'll do, I'll whack on these penalties just so you can see them for now. Obviously, Willie will drop down to P6 with his. Baker Gaming will drop down to P10 with his. And obviously the drivers at the back here will obviously switch places. What can we look at? Position changes, we'll see our highest gainers. Jar Jar Bing, obviously starting from P17, has gained 8 places, soon to be 9. Moody as well from the back of the grid, up 8 places. Obviously only P9 and P11. So probably the most influential gain would be probably Drac or Willie. Willie up 3, Drac up 3. Drac was up 4, but it's just been passed by Woody for P3. So that's what it's looking like at the moment. F1 Hack, our biggest loss, down 10 places after starting P6. So getting wing damage, and is now fighting 15th against Adam the Sweet in the Haas. Wacky Racer and Salty Stevens. Wacky Racer down to P14. Adam the Sweet and... Hang on a second. That was the yellow flag. That's Woody. Woody's made a mistake. Has Woody picked up damage from that? He's made a mistake within Sector 2. He's dropped all the way back off of the destroyed Drac. Maybe a collision between the two. Because Drac's now 2.5 seconds back from Stepney Luke and Tesco Mildeals. Are we going to see Woody into the pits? No, Woody's going to hold it out. But Woody, as you can see, does not have anything on that left-hand side. He's got to suffer 6 laps yet with this damage. Have we just seen a UFRL Woody bottle from a podium place? As he goes one step further and get a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, I reckon so too, Deck. I think it is a woody bottle. Baker Gaming picks up another 3-second time penalty. Sat in P9 as we're watching him chase after Jar Jar Bing for P8. But those time penalties will not mean anything. Well, they will mean a lot actually. Dropping down to P10, but if he gets this overtake, it will not mean anything as he's sliding through that corner there, as you saw there. Rear tyres overheating, possibly for the Williams driver. Stepney Luke. Is he close enough? Nope, he is not. He sticks behind the Ferrari for one more lap. It's probably so antagonising for Stepney Luke. Just unable to get past Tesco's. I believe it's been like... How long have they been on? 10 laps? It's got to be about more than that. Maybe 14 laps he's been stuck behind. Seen that Ferrari rear wing. As we're seeing Willie close up massively on Woody. The battle, but we're going to see a battle between the Woody and the Willie for P4. As that was a clatter of the wall. I heard that. I believe that was Woody once again. The gap's only 2.4 seconds. I believe Woody should have pitted for a new front wing and maybe gone on to another set of mediums if he had them. But now he's just going to throw away even more places where he probably could have gained some back. Because after Willie gets past Woody, it would have been WBA is going to close up, obviously without a penalty currently. We'll go to Salty Stevens though. Salty Stevens on the back of F1 Hack. We'll see if he can get close enough to make us move into turn 27. Salty Stevens will hold off for the time being. Obviously DRS into turn 1, so we'll see how this one plays out. Salty Stevens looking for the move down the inside, gets the move in the braking zone. Hack looking to go round the outside, is going to hold on, but is that switched back by Salty Stevens? Doesn't look like it, and F1 Hack's going to hold on coming into turn 4. Holding on to P12 for another lap. As Willie has closed up to Woody now. This will be a fairly easy move for the Ferrari. As here comes Willie. Taking away that P4 from Woody. And now it is WBA's turn to close in. Stepney Luke still stuck behind Tesco's. The Drac just currently in no man's land. 2 seconds is the gap in front. Stepney Luke still too far behind. Right, let's whack up these penalties. They came in on 6. Bam on 3. Woody on 3. Willie on 3. F1 Hack on 6. Salty Stevens on 6. Wacky Racer on 3. Shazam on 6 as we see him make an overtake for P14. Won't matter too much though, as we'll drop back behind the Aston Martin by the end. And then Free Range Eggs on a 10-second from the pit lane. Obviously down in P17, 15-second gap behind. He's not going to go up or down any places. As Shazam has probably made a mistake. Wacky Racers got back through once again, and that 6-sec penalty is going to prove costly. He's going to lose an extra place. Stepney Luke still stuck behind Tesco's Mildeals as we come onto the final lap. So we'll run on board with these two here. So we'll cut back to... Actually, no, we'll keep on board with these two. This is obviously the final countdown for this race win. As Woody and Bam are going side by side, actually. If Woody's going to hold on. Woody does hold on, even with that broken front wing. He does hold on. I believe this race win will be going the way of Tesco Mildeals. Don't know how many that is this season now, but it's got to be quite a few. As Tesco Mildeals will cross the line and he'll win here in Saudi Arabia. Stepney Luke in P2, Destroyer Drac in P3. You'll get Willie coming around the final corner for P4. They'll go on to this little squabble here with Woody trying to hold on to P5, but is it going to be a drag race to the line with Bam? Bam. WBA gets past both of them because of the penalties. Woody will stay P6 with Bam in P7. Baker Gaming will finish in P8, but will drop down to P9. Bevan will finish P9, drop down to P10 because Jar Jar Bling will go up to P8. Moody will finish P11. I believe Shazam has run out of fuel. Oh dear. F1 Hack finishes P12, Salty Stevens finishes P13, Wacky Racer finishes P14, Shazam will get jumped by Adam the Sweet for P16. Free Range Eggs for P17 and King Luke will round out for P18. The only DNF in this race is I Am Batman. Race winner Tesco Milders, fastest lap goes to free range eggs. Driver of the day, most overtakes both to Jar Jar Bing and the cleanest driver being Tesco Milders. Obviously, I could probably agree that fastest that driver of the day will go for Jar Jar Bing, to be fair. Started right at the back, managed to crawl back to P8, avoided all the carnage, did pick up a penalty, and did attempt the alternative strategy. So I think a solid P8 there was a good job. I'll quickly grab this race director for you. There we go, and then that is that. Alright, that will see me off. I might be back on tomorrow, you never know. If I am, I'll see you then. If not, I will catch you next time I do this. Alright, see you next time.